Green podcast, roll another fat one, puffing on that first class green. Take another puff, puff, hey, drifting the clouds up and away. Hear all about cannabis horticulture, plus cultivation, news and entertainment. Not forgetting Datty, the cute Dalmatian. Grow green is so amazing. We do massive dabs, not talking about the dance move. Grow green, put your lighters on, my dude. Hash joyful, and it's so great. Smoke cannabis every single day. We do massive dabs, not talking about the dance move. Grow green, put your lighters up, my dude. Hash joyful, get that high grade. Smoke cannabis every single day, yo. Grow green, grow green, grow green, grow green.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is CJ Stone.
This is Eric Wee.
And this is the Grow Green Podcast, episode number 5, motherfuckers.
Number 6, motherfucker.
Number 6. All right.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about some shit, some preventive maintenance.
Yeah, just basic preventative maintenance in the gardening. We're not going to dive too deep into it.
Dive off the diving board real deep.
We're just going to talk about like your basic how to clean, how to not be a slob in your garden.
How to not get bugs in the first place.
Or just to try to prevent them. Sometimes you can't help it if there's going to be, situations where you have like dog in your house.
Or just bringing it home in soil or anything.
Anything. There's a lot of stuff that could happen. Yeah, you could get some flowers from the grocery store your wife brings home. You never know. Shit happens.
Mm-hmm. Your buddy can come over with his dirty-ass shoes on and thrips and spider mites all over that fucker and bring it right into your room because he just was like, hey, come on over and look at my shit. I want you to see my donkey dicks. And then he gets in there and bada bing, bada boom. A couple weeks later, you got fucking all kinds of webs.
Next thing you know, it looks like Spider-Man in the Swiss Alps in there.
Ooh. It's got to be safe, and you got to take preventive measures.
And not just the, bugs. We're talking about clean your area, clean up after yourself, pick up those leaves on the floor, get a vacuum out, suck up that water that's standing around there, because that's where those bugs like to lay their eggs and their larvae, stuff like that. And, that's where bacteria lives, too. Good and bad, but, that's the mostly bad down there in the water right there.
So really, before you even set up your stuff, you want to make sure that your room's sterilized, like almost a hospital room, I think. Just think of it that way. You want that sucker as clean as you can be, the cleanest growing environment starting. That way, down the line, you know for sure it wasn't something that you didn't clean that was giving you bugs or whatever else.
Right on. When you got a tent, when you first set up, because I didn't start with a tent. I started in a closet, but back in the day, I don't think I cleaned anything. I was young, but when you got a tent, did you spray everything down before you started in a brand new tent?
It was already pretty clean, but I did do a light wipe down with like one of those Clorox bleach, little handy wipe you pull out of the things, ready to go. And I just wiped everything down with those because it was the easiest for me.
Right on. Right on. Cool.
Yep. So don't let bugs in. How do we not let them in? We'll make sure you got some filters in your air intake kind of thing, so they're just not crawling in or getting blown in.
Yeah, if you have an intake, if you have a tent, or if you have a room and you're bringing air in, you definitely want to filter that air, not only for bugs, but down there, not just in Alaska, or not down in California and Washington or Oregon, but all those other places, right? But really, you got to watch out for pollen from other growers too that could happen to be flying around. It could make your crop go south into males as well.
You could just use some like pantyhose and stuff over your
seed your whole crop
filter or over your ducting ends. I'm thinking like intake, outtake, simple things like that.
Yeah, but if you're gonna try to do it right, I mean HEPA filters if you got the money, but definitely if you don't have the money budget, you could use like pantyhose and stuff like that.
Another thing, if you're getting clones and plants from a buddy, make sure you quarantine those puppies because even though you trust him and he's your best bro and all that good stuff, this shit still might have bugs on it. So
yeah, so when if you're bringing in cuttings from somebody else on the beginning of your grow, you definitely want to quarantine those, not in the area you're going to be growing in. Somewhere else. Put them to the side. Spray some different types of bug pesticides on there, stuff like that. That not necessarily a bad one, but organic, in my opinion, is the best. I like to spray mine with spinosad, which is. You can tell us a little bit about that. Is that what you use mostly?
Yeah, if I have to. I mean, spinosad's an insecticide based on chemical compounds found in bacterial species. I think that's the one that was
found in the whiskey or rum barrels or something like that, right?
Isolated from soil collected inside a non-parental sugar mill rum. Rum's still in the Virgin Islands. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, back in the day, or whenever, somebody discovered this bacteria that was living in these barrels of rum, and basically it's organic, and it's bacteria that lives and grows, and it kills a lot of different things.
Derived from like
thrips
fermented
and-
bacteria or something. Yeah,
Exactly,
it's
you
crazy.
know. You can find that in a lot of different brands, a lot of different stuff. You'll see that in a lot of different stuff. The one I use is, I think, Monterey Garden Insect Spray or something like
Yeah,
that.
I gotta use the Captain Jacks. That's what has,
Captain Drax has it in it too. It's just a little bit. If you can buy that in a bottle, you know, for like $10 or something, depending on where you
the
go.
Monterey is a more concentrated. Make your own
Exactly.
version.
Yeah, you just mix it at a certain ratio, and you get more out of it for the money, basically. So that's what I personally use. That's basically the only thing that I really use, man. Except for, I do go around the perimeter of the building that I grow in every summer twice, and spray a harsher insecticide. I'll be honest, but I don't. That's not in my plants or anywhere that the intake's gonna be, and it's way before I have a run going. I always do it when I'm downtime. You know what I mean?
Right, and then there's Perithrin you can use if it's. I'd suggest not using that unless you maybe actually start seeing something. I don't know. Some people think it's fine. It's all. I don't like spraying shit really, but
Yeah, I don't really like to spray anything, especially when it's in flower or anything like that. We're talking preventative maintenance. So, preventative maintenance for my cuttings and for my vegging plants, I usually hit them every couple of weeks or every week with spinosad, the Monterey, and they seem to actually like that stuff, as opposed to I've tried to use some of the other stuff in the past and haven't seen really any good results or anything that I would say was really, to my advantage.
I know a lot of people like neem oil.
Yeah, a lot of people like neem and it works, but
Makes your
I just don't
plants
like
kind of
spraying
like
all that oily stuff on my
sticky
plant.
and then it's gonna be absorbed into your plants and make them taste funny.
And you can get like neem cake and stuff like that, and put it in your soil and stuff to prevent stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff that you can get, but like this is just me personally. I don't do a whole lot of preventative maintenance other than spraying with my the spinosad and keeping a clean environment and a sterile, clean environment and an enclosed environment that nothing can get in or out of. And I make sure that when I enter that environment, I as well don't bring anything in or out by, like I said, taking shoes off, changing my shoes, having special shoes for the grow room, having a different coat, taking the coat that I don't wear outside off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just keep your stuff clean. Keep all your tools you use clean. Everything. Wipe down after you use it. Vacuum up all your leaves, your fan leaves.
Yeah, at Home Depot they sell like a little vacuum that goes on a 5-gallon bucket. It's like $20, and it's perfect for sucking out your saucers, the water off the floor. Yeah, you have to make a couple trips, but it works really well.
There's a diatomaceous earth. A lot of people use that.
Diatomaceous earth.
Sprinkle over their soil. It's really good stuff. It's referred to as DE. It's an off-white tack-like powder that is fossilized remains of marine phytoplankton. When sprinkled on a bug that has an exoskeleton, it compromises their waxy coating so that their innards turn into teeny tiny bug jerky. But it
Bug
doesn't
jerky,
hurt
right?
mammals. We can eat it even. We do.
Yeah.
We do eat it actually. It's in a lot of grain-based foods because lots of grains are stored with diatomaceous earth to keep bugs from eating the grain. Fun fact.
Yeah, I have used that stuff, and you can even sprinkle it on the leaves.
It's a pain in soft pots though
You
because
can
it
mix
doesn't.
it in water
It
and
doesn't when
spray
you
it.
go. It just kind of falls, and because I tried it in the soft pots, it's tough.
It's a bitch no
It's more
matter
of a
what
hard
you
pot.
use, man.
Yeah, I guess.
It's
You
really, not
gotta
fun
let
to use.
let it dry completely out before you try.
But that's a good one for preventive maintenance. Another good one for preventative maintenance that, since we're only talking not like if we had them, they make Natnix, Growstone. People, there's a couple. I think there's a couple of different kinds, but Natnix makes like a stuff that you can put on top of your soil, and that does you can slowly feed through that, or you can bottom feed underneath it, and that'll help with
Yeah, it's made from 100% recycled glass. Plants love it. Gnats don't.
Yeah, and what it does is when the bugs try to crawl up after they lay eggs inside the soil, the larvae try to crawl out, they die because it cuts them up. Or when the adults try to land and lay eggs, it'll cut them up and fuck them up. They'll be all fucked up. That's what I'm talking about.
Hit them hard.
Yeah, exactly. But that's a good preventative maintenance for like gnats and stuff like that. You know.
What about
stuff
the
that's on
mosquito
your-
dunks
That's a good one too. Mosquito dunks.
and bits? Those are good. You can use. And
So
they're
that's
actually
a
fine to-
living organism basically. Oh, I'm gonna slay this. You want to look that up for me? Bacillus thuringiensis or something.
BTI,
Yeah.
bacteria deadly to mosquito larvae but harmless to other living things.
Somebody gotta have to wiki that for me because I don't know how to pronounce it. But basically, what it is it's living organisms or little guys that you put in your soil or in your watering, and it'll eat a lot of the larvae, egg, and stuff like that. I guess I eat it. I guess it kills it, destroys it. So we use a lot of that, don't we? Use that all the time, right,
Yeah,
Mr. Stoned?
I always we've been using it. We've been putting it in a pantyhose.
Yeah, making like a little tea bag.
Just putting it right in our nutrient mixture.
Just mixing it up, squeezing it.
Yeah,
Strong
Bacillus
arming it, you know, giving it the old stress ball
thuringiensis.
squeeze. But we're
Bacillus
using actually, guys. We're using the mosquito. Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off, but
Quit trying to say it.
we're
It's hard
using
to pronounce. Go ahead.
mosquito bits.
Bits.
The dunks are more like you can break those up, but they turn into like a powder.
Yeah, those are like
So,
donuts.
so pronounce it. Let's see what you said.
Oh, man, I can't. It's
Thurin-
Bacillus
Thuringiensis.
thuringiensis.
Bacillus.
Bacillus thuringiensis.
Thuringiensis.
I think that's how you say it.
Whatever. Anyway, it's fucking good organisms and
BTI.
bacteria, or basically it just helps you kill the larvae that are in your soil.
Yeah, it's just harmful.
And it doesn't
to
get
mosquito
them all.
larvae,
I mean,
and it's not harmful to animals. You can feed it to your dog.
and
if
it's
you
in a
wanted to.
ton of different forms. You could feed it to your dog for sure. Yeah, you could. We probably drink some of that shit because it's in pool waters and stuff like that to keep from causing mosquitoes. In Alaska, we could use. We have a high demand of those things. A lot of mosquitoes up here, huge ones too, big as your head.
Yeah, you can use it in bird baths, ponds, everything. It's safe for all that stuff.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt. I'm not 100% sure on the aquaponics, but I don't think it hurts aquaponics. And another note, I know that Monterey Garden insect spray for all you aquaponic fish gardeners out there, it does not harm the fish. You can use that as a spray on your plants and stuff, and when it goes back down into the fish area, it does not harm them. That's one thing I had to look up for somebody one time, and it's actually one of the only things I could find that didn't harm fish. So
there you go. There's some stuff.
yeah, so
Preventative maintenance.
that's preventative maintenance. And then let's just talk about cleaning your room. Like, how hardcore do we get? You know, we spray it, right? If you got tubs or if you got trays or saucers, pull them out every time. Clean them out. Don't leave all the salt buildup out there. You know, you can get some hydrogen peroxide. And don't necessarily, you don't have to go buy hydrogen peroxide from your grocery store, but you're going to be able to find a much higher concentrate of hydrogen peroxide, H2O2, at your local grow shop or possibly cleaning supply place, some sort of a place that has high concentrate, and you can use that in a diluted solution to scrub all of your tubs and everything. That'll kill all the bacteria and everything. You can start over with really fresh, clean things like that. So what else is another way?
Remember to regularly inspect your plants. That's a good one. I know a lot of people out there will go weeks and just kind of feed them, don't even look at them, and then all of a sudden they got a problem. But if you actually, I like to literally look at my plants every single day. I'll pluck a leaf every day and check it out, check out the back of it, inspect it, look for deficiencies, look for bugs, look for weird.
You pluck a
things
leaf
going
on within the whole garden.
It's like a fan. I'll pick one. I'm not off a plant. And today I'll pick you over here. Just pluck it. Check it out.
Do you eat it?
Nah, I don't.
You
could.
juice it?
I
Do you
could
juice?
I
You
should
ever
start
juice that
juicing
stuff?
it.
Yeah.
I think too much into like what I'm putting in there. If I was like a organic all no-till guy, I'd probably eat it. But some
Really,
of the
we're just
minerals and
putting
some of the
minerals
nutrients,
in.
it's still the same shit. I know. I overthink everything. So.
Now, some of the stuff that we're going to be using, though, is actually a lot more, to me, I feel a lot more comfortable
yeah.
with what we're putting into what we're growing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's really a lot better. So
I agree.
that's definitely, so, you know, you don't, go get a freaking toilet scrub brush and scrub on your pots and all your stuff out, you know, clean everything out. Replace all your hose. If you don't replace your hose, soak all your hose in like hydrogen peroxide. That's what I do. Or I'll pull, if I'm growing in rocks or something like that, hydroton, grow stone, whatever, man. Pull that out, soak it in a tub 24, 48 hours, hydrogen peroxide, and a high dilution of that. You know what I mean? Or not a high dilution, but a high concentrated solution. Even higher than I would scrub all my stuff.
Yeah,
Just let it.
If you're gonna be growing in like a bedroom, I'd pull everything out of that bedroom and clean it from top to the
And
floor to the bottom.
if you ever did get bugs, you know, you're gonna have to clean everything out. Just make sure you bleach, clean, do all that. You know, you get really serious about it. That's the biggest thing. Keep a clean, sterile, growing environment, and it's not gonna happen as much. You know what I mean?
And if an infestation of spider mites does happen and you're battling it, just give up. Clean out your room and start over. Clean that bitch top and bottom, because those eggs are gonna be hiding, and you're gonna be spending more money on trying to fight those things instead of just starting over and getting rid of the problem.
90 days ain't that long, people. I mean, I don't know how long, unless you're going like 14 weeks and you only got a couple, then you might be able to try to spray something. But preventative maintenance is the best maintenance. If you can prevent it before you ever get it, that's the best. You know what I'm saying? Another thing for preventive maintenance is we could just touch on it real quick is you could get at a lot of different places. There's predatory bugs. There's predatory plants. We were just talking about predatory plants yesterday with a homie. What was the name of that plant, man? They had some plants that looked like something out of a Dr. Seuss book that seriously eat bugs, and I want to get one. But they say it takes like 3 or 4 years, you know, to get it to maturity. So there's a lot of different options, but definitely the bugs are an easy option. You can go to your local grow shop. You can get, ladybugs, predatory mites. You can get nematodes,
Beneficial
nematodes. Those are all going to be living organism or living insects of some sort that will be able to fight the battle for you before you already have a battle. There's no reason to have an empty castle. Might as well have an army.
On that note, though, if you're gonna go with beneficial insects, make sure you're not spraying shit then, because those sprays will take out those beneficials.
Right. You know, I was just laying out different options
Yeah.
out there for sure. You definitely need to, any option you pick, do a little bit more investigation, but let's just tell you there's a lot of options out there that you can prevent before you ever get it. There's no reason not to battle bugs. You know what I mean?
And when you do see a problem, I think I said this before, but don't freak the fuck out and start spraying
Don't
all kinds of
panic.
raid on there and chopping them down and thinking you lost your crop. Smoke a big fat joint, go sit in your chair, get on your computer, do a little research, and figure out the problem.
Keep yourself a nice 40 times or 60 times jeweler's loop or some sort of a magnifying glass. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to the coffee girl this morning. Coffee's on point. Friday coffee day.
Shout out to the homie in that King Cobra. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty tasty.
Yeah, shout out to the Green Thumb Garden Supply for keeping the ladies happy. Oh, yeah. I know they got some of the stuff, at least most everything that we all talk about. There's some stuff that you have to get specific places.
Shout out to Matt Niskahai at
Matt
Cieta
Niskahai,
AK Genetics.
Middle of the day shout outs, huh?
Seed packs and stuff. Thanks, dude. Still giving away some stuff.
Yeah, we're still giving away some seeds. Probably going to shut that down here at the end of the month.
Yeah, YouTube videos coming down at the end of the month. That's our first giveaway, and then our next one's going to be coming up. We'll get that figured out soon.
We're going to pick, what, two people? How many? Got quite a few entries. We'll have to pick a couple. We'll have to dig through and pick
We'll have to dig through and find
a couple of good ones.
Mofos.
Sounds like we're going to be having some remote podcasting going on really soon. Mr. Eric Weed and CJ Stone are going to be remotely podcasting at probably the Green Jar dispensary right outside of Wasilla there.
Yeah, we're going to really try and make an effort to get around the Alaskan community here and get more of that content, because all this stuff's already out there, and there's people out there way smarter than me putting it out there.
We just want to kind of build something up for everybody to learn to grow with us through our beginning of the podcast so that they can understand things a little bit more around like we do, so that they can be on the level to grow themselves the best medication or the best whatever you want to grow
Exactly.
for yourself. There's no reason to go out there, even though we're going to dispensary, and I highly support going to your local dispensary. But
Yeah, you can hit up your dispensary while you're waiting for your harvest to get done.
exactly right. Or if you run out, some people like
Done
to
there.
overchief. A little use more than your means there.
Or if you just want to get a couple different samples and
Elbows.
figure out
Smoking
what you
elbows.
want to grow kind of thing. Oh, shit.
Sorry,
Yeah, no.
getting all excited.
Elbows.
Crops, cropping. Talk about cropping, get me all excited.
What about that Judge's Kit Chalice tickets we just got? That's pretty cool.
Eric Weed and CJ Stone going to Chalice this year.
Yeah, well, maybe
Yeah.
you'll see someone you out there.
Yeah, hit us up if you're going. You definitely
Out-of-state listeners.
throw us a PM or a DM on that media, and we'll talk to you. We'll meet you out there. We're
Hell
gonna
yeah, help us do some judging.
judge it up. We're gonna. What you got the
Solvent list.
You got
kit.
the solvent
I'll be doing
list.
some
kit.
rise action.
You know me, I like that Tane, baby.
Tane head over here.
So I got that BHO kit or whatever the solvent kit.
PHO kit extravaganza.
Oh, well, it's gonna be a lot of different stuff, but I'm really excited, about that
to
BHO.
test out the best of the best.
Right? Can't wait to taste some of that butter. I know there's gonna be a lot of terps down there. Some butter, some terps. I'm excited.
It's gonna be hot as balls though.
Hotter than
California, middle of July.
Hell yeah.
Oof,
We're gonna have to play some disc golf while we're down there. Get you all beast moded out.
I guess so. Gotta do something. I'll probably stay in the hotel in the air conditioning the whole time.
The AC.
Dabbed out.
Swizz,
Number
dabbed out.
39.
Number 39. Taking notes.
Taking notes.
I'm passed
Remote
out
podcasting.
with the dab tater in hand and the lid on the floor.
Live streaming me,
I
dab
was like,
the fuck out.
I think that number 39 could be a winner.
It's gonna
Yeah,
be some
so it's
fun.
gonna be dope. Yeah, so we're getting off base, but preventative maintenance. Basically, what else is there? You clean your room, keep that shit clean.
Keep everything clean. If
Right.
you get some bugs.
When you get it and you start it, keep that shit clean. Start out and clean it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go to your local grow shop. Ask them, hey, I'm just starting up. What can I use? Like I said, there's a lot of options. Spinosad. Go for those organic options first, because if you don't have bugs, you have the option to go with the organic ones right away. Sometimes the organic ones, in my opinion, just don't cut it if you have a problem. That's why I say just cut down and start over, because I don't want to spray any of that nasty shit on mine, to be honest with you. That's why he says that too.
You're gonna probably get bugs any way you look at it either, because all these soil bags, unless you're hydroponic, clean, sterile, yada yada, they're all stored in the same warehouses and shit, and all those bugs are getting in all those fucking bags. So that's why preventive maintenance is so important, to kill that shit before they even get a chance to thrive.
Right. You may get bugs. If you're here in Alaska, or if you're over there in Maine or in Michigan or in North Carolina, Washington, doesn't matter. That shit goes around all over. We get y'all's fucking bugs up here. Keep your fucking bugs out of our state.
Yeah, motherfucker.
We get them, man.
It's all good.
Seriously.
Preventive maintenance, I'll take
That's what
care
I'm
of it.
saying. Preventative maintenance. We don't want them. You can keep them, but we're going to be prepared to battle on the home front right here. That's what it's all about. You got to be prepared. Like I said, if you don't have an army in your castle, expect that shit get raided. So
Hell yeah.
that's number one. Clean it. Make sure it's sterile. Go find out what you need. There's food
Check the
grade
plants
everything too.
all the time.
When you
Love and
do
tender care.
use, in my opinion, when you use any of these harsh chemicals or anything that we're talking about, like hydrogen peroxide, H2O2, anything, go to an actual supply source to find food grade stuff. Either your local grow shop or a sterilization cleaning place, somewhere that you can make sure that the shit that you're going to use, tell them you're going to use it to eat off of.
And even though we say it's cool to use, research the shit out of it. Anything you use, research it. Find out what you're putting in your body, what you're putting on your plants.
That's what you need to know, what you're putting in your body, what you're putting on your plants. Exactly right. Because, a lot of that stuff, as soon as you spray it, bare minimum, it takes 30 days to get out of the plant. And some of that shit don't ever go away. It's like doing acid. That shit stays back there forever.
And then you're inhaling it. You're getting on your hands when you're spraying it.
Right.
It's crazy shit out there, and we don't know 100% what it's doing to us. Just be safe, all that good stuff. Prevent your...
There's not been enough testing to know exactly what is going on. So that's basically the number one thing. Be good and understand all that. So What's next, Mr. Stoned?
It's probably about time to do some dabs.
I think we should take a minor break and take a fat dab break. What do you think?
Yeah, probably about time.
All right, well, we'll be right back.
Later.
It's the Grow Green Podcast. The Grow Green Podcast. This is the Grow Green Podcast. The Grow Green Podcast.
And we're back.
Hey, what up?
Dabathon.
That was good. That's some of that, what was that? Golden Cobra.
Yeah.
Whew. Tell you that's some flame. Tell you that. All right, so what else did we not touch on? Another thing I'd like to touch on that we haven't really got into
PM.
Is PM. Those are dirty letters. I wasn't gonna say that.
mildew.
Well, we're not going to get into that too much because there's a lot of debate on that subject.
But how to prevent it real quick, because we didn't.
And
it's really what humidity,
it's room temperature,
air control,
your environment. Yeah.
Don't get it in the first place. If you got spores, you're fucked. They'll get everywhere.
That shit is everywhere, really. It's wherever you're at. There's probably PM. The thing is it doesn't grow unless it has the environment to grow in. For the most part.
So, what environment do you recommend to not get powder?
So yeah, that's debatable again. But personally, in my garden, I try to stay my night temps 70 and above, and I try to run by VPD, and that's all I'm going to say because I don't want to really dive too deep on that one because it's really debatable. Everybody's situation is different depending on where you live at. Up here, we're pretty lucky because it's even though it's very snowy, we don't have a very high humidity. So, for the most part, we have to add a humidifier unless we have a water RDWC system. Then you're gonna have to run a dehu, or huge ops. Obviously, you have to dehu huge ops, but basic med grows, stuff that's personal, you're not gonna see a whole lot of problems unless you bring that problem in there, and that is like I said. Stay your night temps above 70. That'd be my number one tip, I guess. Other than that, I'm not going to go too deep.
Yeah, just try not to get that shit. Ooh.
PM sucks because, from my understanding, is when you get it, it's hard to get rid of it because it embeds itself in the plant. And there's a lot of debate with if it's systemic or not.
Well, Mr. Eric Weed, what is powdery mildew? Let me tell ya! Powdery mildew is a fungal disease that affects a wide range of plants. Powdery mildew diseases are caused by many different species of fungi in the order... Ooh, that's some words that I'm not going to go into. Delete that.
Exactly, I'm not going to go into it. Yeah. But the thing is like you said, it is a big environmental issue.
Yeah.
So if you have the environment that breeds it, then it's gonna happen. So Google that shit. VPD. Keep your room temps above 70 at night. Don't get too high in the day. Keep your humidity down lower. Run your VPD.
Keep your room clean. Inspect your plant.
Or if you don't run VPD, run low humidity. Something like that. But that's basically it. But what I wanted to touch in that we didn't touch in is air exchange in the room. You got to have a fan to suck in and out of the room. So make sure you have adequate airflow. That's a big thing no matter where you're at. You know what I mean? Because that's part of preventative maintenance. If you don't have adequate in and out, fresh air, in and out exchange, and adequate airflow, you can breed mold, mildew, stuff like that.
So to prevent that shit, you need adequate airflow.
Exactly right. So, does that pretty much sum up most of everything that we have left to talk about?
Yeah. And to prevent you from growing shitty bud in the first place, get some good genetics.
That's number one preventive maintenance. That was episode 1. You guys will have to check back to that.
Check that out, yeah.
We went in a little bit deep on that. Number 1 for the genetics.
Well, number 1 kind of, quality-wise, kind of sucked, but
we were just checking out, trying to figure out all the mics and everything on number 1. But if you really turn it up, you can listen to it and understand it. We'll have to do another genetic one or something.
And we'll get another guest on here on some genetics. We'll dive deep on it.
Man, that dab is killing me. That was a tasty dab.
Tasty.
But yeah, we'll
And that
dive a
new
little
banger,
deep on
huh?
it.
That was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I got
The
that new
old,
thermal P
Thermal
banger.
P.
Thermal P banger.
Put some globs in that. Takes a long time to cool down, though. It's like
Fucking 2
a
minutes.
heater.
2 minutes on the fucking cool temp, Dabs. I thought he was bullshitting when he said 2 minutes, so I went in on like a minute and a quarter.
He got murked.
He's like, oh, my throat, it's hot. It's a Joe Rogan hot dab. Motherfucker say he likes them hot. Shit's funny. But, yeah, you know, that'll touch on it. You know, I want to shout out one more person because I rolled these two people.
Shout out.
Over at the Shack, man. Shack in Wasilla. Shout out to the Shack for that fat thermal P and those rollies, man.
Always
the
giving
Glenn.
the deals.
OG
Always
dog.
got the good shit. The Shack.
Glenn at the Shack hooks it up. So does fucking Matt. Those guys are awesome. And the dank that I put in it was some Forum cut Girl Scout cookies in it. No shit, really purple. You saw it. Frosty as fuck, right?
For sure, sex appeal, 100%.
Bag appeal. And it smelled
Sex appeal.
like, I don't know, like grapey, like, I don't know, currenty. Like, you know, I don't know if you know, anybody knows out there, like currants.
Current
Like
jelly.
currants. My God, bro. Shit's like a fat ass to me, those currant and grape smells on a dank. But yeah, anyway, shout out to the Last Can of Gardens for hooking us up with those fat Forum cut nugs. Oh my God. Loved it, bro. Loved it. Love to taste some oil out of that and see if those terps come out in some oil. So if you get some oil, holla at your boy.
Holla.
All right, man. Well, that pretty much sums it all up. I think we touched on everything. Not a whole lot. With, you know, basically what we say, we'll bring it down to like 4 or 5 basic things. Keep your shit clean. Prevent it before you get it. Keep an army in your castle. Make sure you got something to do the battle. And keep your shit clean for your head. And stay right. Alright? This is Eric Weed.
CJ Stone.
We out of here. Peace.
Later. Check out our social media and
It's
shit.
the Grow Green
Bye.
podcast. Roll another fat one, puffing on that first class green. Take another puff, hey. Drifting the clouds up and away. Hear all about cannabis horticulture, plus cultivation, news and entertainment. Not forgetting the cute Dalmatian. Grow Green is so amazing. We do massive dabs, not talking about the dance move. Grow Green, put your lighters on, my dude. Hash oil, and it's so great. Smoke cannabis every single day. We do massive dabs, not talking about the dance move. Grow Green, put your lighters on, my dude. Hash oil, get that high grade. Smoke cannabis every single day, yo.